Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome over to another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I don't think I had on my bingo card for 2025 what came out today. How about y'all? It's gonna get freaking crazy. I don't even know how to say this. So I don't know if you guys noticed the thumbnail on your way in here, but that's kind of real. I understand it's a little bit satirical. It's supposed to be funny in nature like that, but holy crap. I mean, I can play two statements. Oh, wait, I should probably give some background before I get all freaking crazy about this. I need to give you guys like two statements about this. One, they had a press conference where they actually stood up and give address. When I say they, I'm talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, who got invited by the Trump administration. He arrived today. Trump went out and greeted him. They do a press conference, and then they sit down in front of a fire, and some of the most whacked out crap that I have ever heard in my mind ends up coming out of this press conference. I mean, whacked out. And I'm looking at the comments section right now. It's like people just know. People already just know what's up. I'm getting a lot of happy birthdays in here, so I really appreciate that. Confused the hell out of me the first time. Totally understand now. Emily Broadham coming in, gifting out 20. Flacco coming in, gifting out 5. Man, it's going to be a lovely evening, isn't it? It is just going to be a lovely evening. I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say about this down in the comments section, because you know this is going to be a fire show. Like, there is just no other freaking possibility. There's no other way this can go. It just is what it is. And I'm going to start this off by saying we went over it in a morning live session. We went over this crap in the morning live session where everybody was talking about Trump abandoning Ukraine and everything else. And Texas made a very, very good point this morning. And I thought it was so freaking profound after researching it. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to put that information out. I'm going to share it. What Texas actually said when yesterday Donald Trump had made the statement saying that, look, we're going to give Ukraine some money. All right, we have no problem giving Ukraine money, but when we do that, we want to make sure we get paid back. And so what he ended up doing was, in order to get paid back, he wanted some security type guarantee for the money that we're lending them. And that security guarantee is going to come in the term of mineral rights to a bunch of like rare earth crap that they have over there. And so those mineral rights, right, that rare earth material, all of that crap is what we're actually going to get paid back in. Now, the crazy part about it is if you look where all of those are at, the bulk of them, particularly lithium, in Crimea, Zaporizhia, Donetsk. So if we're going to get paid back, well, guess what? Russia's got to pick up and they got to move the hell out of the way. But I mean, and all of that's fine and dandy. I just wanted to open up with that while I was waiting on you guys to pour in here, because I know it's going to be a second. I don't want a single one of you guys as it's all pouring in to go over there. But that is very actual factual information. Kind of blew my mind when I first, like, yeah, that was wild. But okay, so to start this off, let's just cut straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there ain't no point in holding it up. Let's just let it fly. Are you ready to let it fly? I'm ready to let it fly. I'm going to crank it up. Earball warning. Not quite sure where it's going to come in, but I got a feeling you'll be okay.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
That's it. I can end the show now. I'm just going to end the show. I'm going to go home. You guys don't need to hear anything else. That's all. The U.S. is going to take over the Gaza Strip. Need I say any more? Yes.
And we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site.
Wait a minute. The U.S. already has private military contractors over there, do we not? Pants check. You know I'm wearing pants. It's nighttime. Pants check me in the morning. That's when you're better off finding me without pants. I'm on a roll, man. Stop screwing me, Theodore. I'm freaking running today, man.
Level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
I want you to remember that statement that Trump just made right there, that we're going to take it, we're going to level out, we're going to redevelop it, make a bunch of jobs for, he didn't say the Palestinians or Gazans or anybody. He said the people of the area. The people of the area. You're damn right. I've worn a suit jacket and tie without pants on, and you give me one responsible human being that hasn't done that yet.
Do a real job. Do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation again.
I wouldn't go that far. I think we have a lot to prove before we can call ourselves a respected nation again. I mean, let's be real. I did just post about giving $2.1 million to like some transgender freaking halfway house over in California today, but let's move on.
A lot's happened in the last couple of weeks. We are actually a very respected nation again.
Okay, so we're respected. Now, here's the crazy part about all this, and it's going to come back. I'm sorry, I got to... Shh! Quiet. Here's the crazy part about all this. Now, remember that one thing that I just said about how he's going to make it a lovely and beautiful place for everybody else as they come back and as they return. They're talking about, you know, sending them somewhere else while it's all being rebuilt. And all of these are fine and dandy. These are all great talking points. I love them to death. Love them to death. But let's be honest. Who do you think he's going to be rebuilding Gaza for? And look at the smirk on Bibi's face. Look at it. Look at it. He sees it coming.
Peter? Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would
It shouldn't be funny, but it is. Because just in the last clip that I played, in the very last clip I played, he straight said that we're going to do something very nice and very beautiful. I think maybe I need to go back and remind you guys specifically what he said, because that's the opening line. Holy
the U.S.
poopy.
will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site.
That's good.
Level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Wait, for who? The people of the area? The people of the area. Okay, now let's go back to this statement.
Peter?
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell.
Am I the only one that's hearing this? There is rumors that Trump is, not rumors, I guess, but like Trump is trying to get a bunch of other nations to accept all of the Palestinians. Has anybody else heard this, seen this, like floating around? Am I the only one that's seen that? And so then he says we're going to level it. We're going to rebuild it and make it really nice and have a great economy and beautiful jobs and everything else that like type of things that Trump says. The reporter comes up and asks him whether or not the people in Gaza are going to be able to return, and he comes back with this.
Peter?
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while...
And Bibi's wiping his smirk off. Watch Bibi. Watch Bibi. Watch Bibi. Watch Bibi.
Peter?
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my...
Did you see that before Trump even started speaking? Okay, I'm going to stop going back and forth. I'll play it one more time for you, but it's hilarious. Watch Bibi as he's asking this question. You tell me that these two aren't cooking something up.
Peter?
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
He can't even hold
it
it in.
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest places on earth. And right now, it's...
What do you mean, sir? How could it be hell? Like, bitch, there's a war going on and people are freaking dying. I don't know if you've heard of these terror organizations that have been running around and the IDF going in and bombs being dropped, everybody claiming genocide, half the fucking place is leveled. That's why it's hell.
I've seen every picture from every angle, better than if I were there, and nobody can live there. You can't live there. So if we can build them through massive amounts of money supplied by other people, very rich nations, and they're willing to supply it. If we can build something for them in one of the countries, and it could be Jordan, it could be Egypt, it could be other countries, and you could build 4 or 5 or 6 areas. It doesn't have to be one area, but you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live. And
a beautiful town? A beautiful town is going to keep them happy? And this is where I start getting a little bit upset. A beautiful town is going to keep them happy. Oh my goodness. A beautiful town is what's going to keep them happy. I wonder what would happen if we looked at what that place looked like beforehand. Like what type of beautiful town perhaps would be over inside of Gaza. I don't know. I wish there was like some silly place that we could go to that would allow us to see maybe photographs pre-war to see what type of beauty that place might possibly have. Oh man. Oh, what a shithole. Yep, I'd wage war over this. This is war waging time. Look at that. Yep, that, oh God. It's just the projects, man. Oh, it's horrible. You know what would make this place better? Maybe if there was like some oceanfront property, like maybe if there was just some like really beautiful place that everybody could go swim and fish and kind of like look out at the ocean. Sorry, I feel like that's the same one that I just showed. You know, would it be kind of cool to have some stuff like that? Maybe, I mean, just maybe. You know, if you could see the ocean, hang out, like have a mosque down on the water, maybe. Oh, look at that. Oh, they do have that. Oh, it's a miracle. Still didn't keep them happy. So no matter how much we rebuild the Gaza Strip and how beautiful we make it, it's just going to get turned back into terror central until it's dealt with properly. The resorts, oh God, do you want to see the water park or do you want to see the resorts? Which one do you want to see? You want to see the water park first or do you want to see the resorts? I'll show you the water park. If you haven't seen the water park, there's a water park. Show you the resorts too. Like the beautiful 5-star resorts. That's an easy one because that one's up and I don't have to go look for it. Oh man. Did they take it off? Nope. Hey, what do you know? It's temporarily closed. Big surprise. Yeah, look at this. Look at this place. Better make it beautiful. Better keep the people happy. You don't want them living in a shithole. You know what I mean? Did I make my point? I think I did. Nope. Okay. Now, for the few hundred of you that just rolled in here and are wondering what you're watching a video from inside Gaza before the war started. And there's a reason I have to show it. Oh, the humanity. Coke products. Didn't they ban Coke products? Weren't they telling everybody not to partake in Coke at one point in time? Yeah, if you're just joining, let me go ahead and catch you guys up to par. The USA is going to take over Gaza, and we're going to be rebuilding it into something like really beautiful, really nice. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm trying to remember the exact term that he ended up using on it, but yeah, it's supposed to be beautiful, gorgeous, and everything else. Yeah, here we go. This is what he said. So if you're now joining us, let me catch you up to par.
Level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this.
Did you hear that? It can't go back. So Netanyahu, and I've got the clip here in just a sec, but Netanyahu here a little bit later on, if we're going to get serious, when he's being interviewed by the press and he's being asked about like the entire thing, and they're like, so now that the hostage deal, right? Like hostage deal is going to be going through, like everything's going to be okay. And Netanyahu's like, no, I've got 3 goals. The U.S. is the U.S., but Israel, Bibi, myself, me, yeah, I've got 3 goals. Keep Israel safe, eliminate Hamas, and get the hostages back. Those 3.
Ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation again. A lot's happened in the last couple of weeks. We are actually a very respected nation again.
So the key takeaway from this is where he ends up saying that they're going to rebuild it, turn it into a nice, beautiful place, and everything's going to be like fine and dandy, and it's all going to go. And then the reporter asks him whether or not people have the right to return to Gaza. Afterwards, Bibi laughs.
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest places on earth. What do you mean? And right now, I've seen every picture from every angle, better than if I were there. And nobody can live there. You can't live there. So if we can build them through massive amounts of money supplied by other people, very rich nations, and they're willing to supply it. If we can build something for them in one of the countries, and it could be Jordan, it could be Egypt, it could be other countries.
Very well could be.
You could build 4 or 5 or 6 areas. It doesn't have to be one area, but you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live and not die.
Yep.
Because Gaza is a guarantee that they're going to end up dying. The same thing's going to happen again. It's happened over and over again, and it's going to happen again as sure as you're standing there, Peter. So I hope that we could do something where they wouldn't want to go back. Who would want to go back? They've experienced nothing but death and destruction.
And at whose hands and why? Why, oh, why would they possibly experience death and destruction over inside of Gaza? What led to that? How did that happen? How did that happen? I have no idea where that would have come from. Now, then there's a better angle of this, but this is also another video. Some lady ends up asking about Afghanistan, and Trump responds in a great Trump way.
Go ahead.
Afghan suffered women as a high expectation from you. Do you have any plan to change Afghanistan situation? Are you able to recognize Taliban? Because I'm an Afghan journalist, Afghan suffered women. Any comment about Afghanistan? What's your future plan for Afghan people, especially Afghanistan?
I have a little hard time understanding you. Where are you from? Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand a word you're saying. But I just say this, good luck, live in peace. Go ahead.
And that's it. Good luck, live in peace. Basically, Afghanistan is off the table as far as he is concerned. So he's got no intention of ever going back. Michael Martell ended up coming in and says, I hope Trump gives Gaza back to Israel before a different administration, God forbid, sells it to Iran or something. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not saying that's not a possibility, but I also don't think the U.S. is taking actual control. Like, we don't physically own Gaza. That's not how this works. We're going in for security purposes and demining operations, and then also helping out with construction efforts over inside of there. Why? Why, oh, why would he say that? Would you sign up for military service, Tardio? Go defend Gaza? I did 16 years, you stupid prick. I've got 4 years in combat. My back's broken. I've got multiple frickin' TBIs, and I'm 40 plus years old. But yeah, if I absolutely had to, I would go back to Gaza, and I'd have no problem doing it. I'll tell you what, though, Let us frickin' GWAT frickin' bangers get in there and tell me how big of a shithole it's going to turn into. Because we're not going to put up with the BS that the IDF did. You think we'd be letting people just roam out with all of our hostages? You think we'd set up a highway for them just to go frickin' away? No, we absolutely wouldn't. We'd be shooting fish in a damn barrel. And that's what Israel should have been doing the whole time to get their hostages back. Death and destruction until they get them back. And I'm not calling for genocide. That's not what I'm calling for by any means. But I am calling for taking appropriate actions against a frickin' terrorist organization that massacred 1,200 people in a single day and took babies hostage. They've been murdering them ever since. So yeah, yes, I would. And I would do it happily. But you better frickin' pay me. That's all I got to say about that. And you know what? I could do it as a contractor. Maybe I will go do it as a contractor, and I'll probably end up making a little bit more scratch than I do here. And I don't mind doing that at all. You have no idea the contracts that started coming our way when they ended up starting announcing this. You guys think this stuff fell out of the sky overnight? No. Those contracts hit the table weeks ago. Weeks ago, we heard about that. And so this is not, how do I want to say this? This is not something that we didn't see coming, that we didn't know was going to be happening or anything like that. So, yeah, don't worry about it. We are all more than well aware. Yep. 1 second here. Let me get this up. And by the way, here's how I know that the U.S. is not going to be taking control of Gaza.
Of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can...
Never mind. Trump said other countries need to be running Gaza. All right. Not the United States. Like, we're not going to be the ones doing it. So just let it go. And remember how I ended up telling you that, like, Israel is going to end up getting actual ironclad support from the United States of America, unlike he got under the Biden administration?
I'm honored that you invited me to be the first foreign leader to visit the White House in your second term. This is a testament to your friendship and support for the Jewish state and the Jewish people.
No. I love how you guys are calling me dummies as if I don't know how that the United States conducts warfare. I really appreciate everybody in the chat that thinks I'm an idiot when it comes to warfare and how all this is going down. Yes, U.S. troops. Yeah, you might have one or two that are down there, but I promise you the bulk of them, and I mean the flippin' bulk of them, are going to be contractors. Do you know why? Here, let me school up all the frickin' like nerds in the chat that think they know a thing or two about frickin' warfare because they watched the damn thing or two on YouTube. Let me school you up on this, and let me talk to you about status of force agreements, and let me tell you about how the United States of America actually conducts business. All of the little bases that we're going to set up over there, all of the little things that we're going to do over there, a lot, and I mean the bulk of the heavy frickin' lifting, those big ass bases, all that crap that the U.S. military needs, because God forbid we go 3 days without a freaking hot shower and a hot meal. All of those things that are going to be established in order to allow limited U.S. forces, if it ends up actually coming to that, to actually go out and do those things. The bulk of them are going to be contractors. The absolute bulk. Private military contractors. Look who's holding down the Netzarim corridor right now. Is it U.S. troops? No, it's not. Hey, where are all those special operations troops that everybody said ended up launching the hostage frickin' operation down in southern frickin' Gaza back in June? Oh, that's right. They weren't frickin' there. They didn't exist because they didn't go. They didn't load up on a frickin' ship, shove themselves in a container, and then float their happy butts to the pier that may or may not have been breaking up at the time just to get off to go rescue some hostages when there was a perfectly good corridor for them to go on. But please tell me how much more you know about this. By all frickin' means, tell me. I can't wait to hear about it in the comments section. Dear frickin' God, you're the same people. You know, like, you guys are the same frickin' people, the same whining ass frickin' complainers that sat here and screamed about genocide the entire frickin' like year trying to burn down college campuses as if you were going to do something. Let me ask you something, you freaking knuckleheads in the comment section that want to go burn down college campuses. Are you going to go pick up a rifle and stand guard against the Israeli Defense Force because you believe so deeply in your freaking opinion? I've been there. I've done that. I've freaking, like, holy shit.
I've said this before.
Here's me and my friends with an ISIS flag. You know how we got that? Do you think we fucking asked for it? Or do you think maybe we shot some people in the face and took it from them? I'm so tired of you pieces of shit that want to come in here and troll as if you know something when you don't. You read one little fucking newspaper article and you think you know everything. Get out, dude. Go away. Like, unsubscribe from the channel. Go get a life. If you don't want to actually have a freaking actual conversation and learn something, maybe you're in the wrong place. Tell me I'm full of shit when you come in here screaming about fucking genocide when you know damn good and well it's not happening. You want to come in here and scream about dead babies knowing damn good and well Hamas runs training camps, and in one fucking summer alone, they trained over 100,000 children to be jihadists. But yeah, come in here and tell me that I'm freaking wrong. And not a single damn one of them were starving when the Famine Review Committee published their report back in June, admitting that they were wrong back in February, saying that they were all starving then. And even in the June report, they ended up saying there's no freaking evidence of famine at this time. But yeah, I'm wrong. I am totally wrong. You want to talk about the casualty rates over in Gaza? We can have that discussion as well. How many freaking dead civilians are actually in Gaza right now? And what are the three primary ways that the health ministry ends up getting those numbers reported to them? Do you know, you fucking trolls? Because I do. I know exactly where they come from. They come from three different types of reporting. They come from family members reporting them. They come from the hospital. And my favorite, the very last one, and I quote, reliable media sources. They literally get their freaking casualty numbers from the media. So please keep telling me that you know more about this shit than I do, you fucking imbecile. God bless.
I'll say it again. You are the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House. And that's why the people of Israel have such enormous respect for you. I'm honored that you invited me.
Now, for everybody that said that Trump was just going to go in and kill everyone, the dude just legitimately said earlier on that he's going to build it into a nice, beautiful, luxurious place where people would want to come back to, but he doesn't know why they'd want to come back because the place is, regardless of their five-star resorts, regardless of their water parks and everything else, a breeding ground for frickin' terrorists. They had the ability, 1 mile of the 400 plus miles of tunnels under Gaza, just 1 mile costs over $1 million for those frickin' jihadists to construct. And when Hamas got asked earlier on whether or not they were concerned for the civilians and why wouldn't they let the civilians use the tunnels, you know what Hamas said? That's the responsibility of the UN. Not for them, not at all. And for everybody that wants to call them freedom fighters, let me tell you else how stupid you are. They're not freedom fighters. If they were freedom fighters, they would actually be fighting for the people. But they're not. They're not fighting for the people. They don't care about the people. And that last comment, quote, I just gave to you from them when asked why they don't let them use the dang tunnels is evidence of it. It's also evidence that they're stealing the humanitarian aid. They're using UNRWA. They're using all of these other freaking methods and means in order to smuggle weapons and equipment in there. Let me ask you something down in the chat for all you freaking warmongers out there that really feel like you got a great handle on this situation because you went to a Free Palestine rally and can't even tell me what river connects to what sea. Let me ask you a question. Seriously. No, I got one. How is it that Hamas has been capable of fighting this entire time, over 1 year, going on 14 freaking months? How is it that they've been able to continuously fight Israel, i.e. weapons and equipment and ammunition? Where did that all come from? Did it fall out of the sky? It didn't come from the sea. It sure as shit isn't coming from the freaking Rafah border crossing anymore, if you even know where that's at. It didn't come from there. So where did it come from? Do you think maybe it's been getting smuggled in on these humanitarian aid trucks? Just possibly, and that would be a great reason why Hamas would want to make damn sure that they go over and frickin' steal it and then sell it back to the people at an inflated rate. But tell me again how much they're freedom fighters and they care for the people. You frickin' people are, gosh, man, out of flipping control. Out of control. Out of control. Can't. I frickin' can't. Hold on. I don't think I've heard this one yet.
We've heard Joe Biden and Donald Trump take credit for the hostage and ceasefire deal. Who do you think deserves more credit?
I think President Trump added great force and powerful leadership to this effort. I appreciate it. He sent a very good emissary. He's helped it along. And, I'll just tell you, I'm happy that they're here. And I'm sure the president is happy that they're here. And I would think that's about enough.
So, again, for everybody in the chat that wants to give Joe Biden's old ass a blowjob and cup his wrinkly little balls, yeah, I'm talking to you that claim that Joe Biden did such a great job doing the hostage negotiations. Did you guys realize that since January of last year, not a joke, January of last year, January, over 13 months, Joe Biden had been talking about arranging a hostage negotiation and a peace deal. Do you realize that? Do you? Do you also realize that Joe Biden, all the way back in April, when Israel was lined up outside of Rafah to go assault that city and get U.S. citizens back, who those savages took hostage alongside a 9-month-old baby, when the Israeli Defense Force was lined up, ready to go in and ready to go get those U.S. hostages back. Do you know what piece of shit of a U.S. president decided to use leverage in the terms of freaking weapons that Israel had already paid for and held up shipments to continue to push 4 months later hostage negotiations? And do you know what the end result of that was? Nada. Nothing. No hostages. As a matter of fact, we got a net negative on that. I'll say that again. We got a net negative on that. Do you know why it's a net negative? Because not too long later, in that exact same piece of shit city in southern Gaza, U.S. hostage was murdered in a tunnel alongside 3 other human beings. For what? For what? So you continue to sit here and tell me that I'm wrong. You continue to sit here and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me know. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Clear in multiple conversations and in every way that any major military operation in Rafah would be a huge mistake. Let me tell you something. I have studied the maps. There's nowhere for those folks to go.
Really? There's not? She studied a map? I'm sorry, I had no idea that Kamala Harris is a fucking land nav god and been through the damn STAR course and she knows how to frickin' plot points and everything. But I do know that she knows probably how to use Google Maps, and if she would have done it, she would have discovered that city center to city center in between Rafah and Khan Yunis is about a 1-hour walk. And the ocean ain't that far away either, probably about the same. So yeah, maybe she ought to go back and study the map. And what's she talking about? She's talking about the exact same thing I just told you about trying to keep the IDF from going into Rafah and getting freaking U.S. citizens out. And if you'd have known a damn thing about this war, you'd have known. You would have known that the vast majority of the hostages that Hamas was holding on to were in Rafah. They were there. And in the early days, the first hostages that got rescued, guess where they came out of? You stupid bastards. They came out of Rafah. But please, again, continue to tell me that you know what's going to happen. Freaking assholes, man. God, fucking trolls. Like, do you guys just live in your own little utopian world where nothing else is happening? It's just whatever you think is happening is what's actually happening? Holy shit, man. Ah, love of God. I can't even do it anymore. Like I like the amount of stupidity that comes from the Palestinian supporters cannot be expressed enough. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So yeah, no shit. Joe Biden didn't get the frickin' hostage deal done. He had over a year to do it. And as a matter of fact, his actions, the actions of Kamala Harris and everybody else in that administration ended up getting U.S. hostages killed and a U.S. service member killed. Did you know that? Can you tell me his name? I can tell you his name. Do you know about the other 3 U.S. service members that got killed inside of Jordan because of these jihadist nut jobs? Can you? Do you even know who they are, where they came from, what they were doing? Any of you? I'm so tired of this crap. Like, you freaking nut jobs, man.
No alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. Virtually every building is down. They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious. They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it.
Oh, and by the way, for everybody that says that contractors and doing that's insane, no, I'm not talking about the Navy SEALs, B squared. I'm not talking about the Navy SEALs. I'm talking about the 3 U.S. soldiers that got killed in Jordan by jihadists. That's what I'm talking about. Guys are so freaking silly. Do you hear how silly you are? Come with facts. Further, do you hear this genocidal nut job? Oh my goodness, God, he's just going to kill everybody.
They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious. They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different.
What a horrible human being. Man, the U.S. is just going to level that whole place. Yeah. Do you realize that, like, in the United States of America, we have contractors, like contracting companies that have larger forces, including air power, than like a vast majority of militaries around the world. When I say we're sending in contractors, half of you are so freaking numb to the thought you can't even wrap your head around how huge the U.S. private military contractor industry is. And they are all sanctioned. They are all like vetted by the State Department. These are legit human beings with legit things. Who will pay for it? Very good question. I guess we're going to figure that out. But I promise you, I don't see the U.S. spending a shit ton of taxpayer dollar. But the amount of money that's coming out of Doge would probably be able to go towards a lot of it. We could take it out of the trans places and we could put it towards them. I'd say that's a pretty fair trade. I'd be game for that. I think most of you would be as well. Right? I don't think that's a horrible thing to do. I think it would be quite nice, actually.
Donald Trump take credit for the hostage and ceasefire deal. Who do you think deserves more credit?
I think President Trump added great force and powerful leadership to this effort. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, that's the wrong clip. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted the one where Netanyahu starts talking about his goals. That's what I wanted. I totally messed that one up. I want to make sure I have that up here for you guys so that you could hear Netanyahu say it, because he very bluntly ended up throwing it out there. Not a big deal if I don't get across it. He put the reporters in their place when they pressed him on it and tried to act like it wasn't a thing. But it's fine. Maybe I'll find it. Give me 1 sec. I somehow lost the clip, and I sincerely apologize for that. But BB ended up putting reporters in place today, too. And it was great. I loved it. I absolutely did. So, ladies and gentlemen, been a long day for me. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. I really do. Sorry for losing a little bit. Been a long day. I'm kind of tired. But I will see you all tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Peace, love, happiness, and God bless.